Coming to you from sunny Orlando, Florida, welcome to the Paperstac Podcast, where we cover current topics in the note industry, give you tactics for your note business, and talk with industry leaders to make you a better note investor. And now, your hosts, Brett Berkey and Rick Allen.
What are we going to talk about, man?
So I figured something that's really close and dear to our heart is working with kids at home. And so trying to run a note business.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Working with kids. Yeah. Okay.
Kids are running behind you. How do you have a meeting when there's two kids fighting and you're trying to yell at them and doing this whole thing? Just
Yeah. So I guess this is super relevant right now. I mean, we're on the backside of quarantine, but I feel like we're taking steps backwards right now. So it looks like, hey, you don't know.
doing the Paul Abdul of quarantine walk, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
That's right. Love the reference. Oh man, I saw something I was telling you the other day about kids and cell phones. So if you talk to any of my people born in any time before really like the 90s or the 2000s, before the 2000s, you say, if you were to pretend like you're talking on the phone, what are you going to do? Like this.
Yeah.
And then if you ask a kid right now, say, show me if you're going to pretend like you're talking on the phone, what do you do? And they do this because of
Being flat.
Because of all smartphones, right? Because of the iPhone, because of the Samsung, everything like that. Like I did it this weekend with my kids and I said, watch this. And I showed everybody and all the kids went like this. And I asked all the adults and they went like this. And so that's how you can tell how old somebody is. Ask them, use your hand as a prop on a telephone. And that's what they're going to do.
So the call me doesn't work. They just think you're waving.
I don't know. They're like, what is he doing?
What is he doing?
No, yeah, it's funny. And
Another way you can tell how old someone is, text them and see how they text back.
If they use emojis?
Oh, no, all lowercase letters and words that you can't understand. I work with my daughter. I'm like, dude, you just got to have a little bit. Because that's for me, maybe it's just a personal preference. You're like, when people are like, you're like, what the hell? That's not even how you spell that regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell somebody's age by how their text messages come across.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends who I'm texting, whether or not you're going to get proper grammar or anything. And it depends if I'm sitting at a traffic light waiting to go. Right?
That's true.
But tying this all in. So kids, how do you deal with them? What do you do? You've got them. They're in the background. You're probably stressed out and it might lead you to be a bad dad, bad mom. Snap at them. First of all, I think we should take a deep breath. I think for the most part, it's accepted right now that as we're going through this, kids are going to be in the background. My kids love to, when I say I'm on the phone, they're actually pretty good about not being in the room. But man, they'll go into the next room and they'll have a throwdown fight. And they'll be yelling and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm on another Zoom call. And so I'm having to shut video down, shut volume down, get up and go and just be like, hey, knock it off. So what are some of your tricks,
Me?
Yeah.
I don't really have any tricks. So for me, most of the time, it's just, we have a very open house. It's all tile floors and open. So everything's very echoey. Mm-hmm. So I just basically say before I get on a call or anything, I say, hey, I'm getting on a call. And then they go sit in a different room. And most of the time it's well behaved. I guess it's really...
Some of the issues that you will have that maybe Brett doesn't know he has is headphones. So if you have on headphones, cans, call them what you want, you don't necessarily hear the ambient noise going on around you.
That's why Rick always puts me on mute.
That's why I have Brett on speed mute when I need to, because you don't hear it, but your kids are in the background making tons of noises. And with today's microphones, it picks up picks up everything.
Yeah. There is that app called Crisp AI that will eliminate a lot of background noise, which is really pretty cool.
Point.
Yeah, that was a great timing on Crisp. They came out right at this time. And yeah, so that was good, but I don't know.
Some of the other things I say is the virtual backgrounds is a great way to just tighten up the space behind you. If you have a virtual background, you can have it to where you don't see a bunch of madness going on behind you. Some of the other things that I do for the note business is you can start we utilize Paperstac quite a bit. And it's helped out during quarantine because stuff that was typically an email or something like that, I'm just doing it right on the platform. So I have my digital audit trail. I have all the stuff right there in the transaction, and it gets me away from the phone calls, but also then it allows me to start scheduling my calls. So I can say, look, I'll give you a call on the platform. At that point, I can get the kids to sit down.
No, that makes sense. And that's another thing too we have seen. It seems like there's been this maybe not for everybody, but there's a shift in the industry where, the digitization of these things, we're here, but a lot of people are like, don't stop the gravy train. It's working a certain way. Let's keep it rolling. And now we've seen a lot of people are coming to the platform.
It's changing. Now, people are coming to the platform. I had a phone call just before here with somebody who does a lot of business, and he's, look, I got 30 assets that I'm the seller. I'm just buying them, and I'm going to turn around and resell them. I'm selling them all in one shot to 3 or 4 different guys. Can I just use the platform? Do you have I don't need the marketplace. And I go, wow, you're probably 8 weeks early. However, we have a solution that we can roll out, and that is coming out hopefully within the next probably 8 weeks. The ability to do transactions, closings, without being in the marketplace. That's it's something that dev timeline is set to fluctuate earlier or potentially later, but it will be this year for sure. It's on that time or on our development schedule, and backlog is just something that is coming. And it's such a huge value add for when you're trying to do stuff. That's another thing when you're working at home with the kids, you don't want to have a bunch of papers laying around everywhere.
Collateral files and
yeah.
A lot of scary stuff. The fact that you can actually, it's accepted now, the digitization. Like before, people were like, they need a notary, and where are you you can probably now go to a notary. But we saw that the online notary process made it a lot easier because you couldn't leave, and so the process of, hey, I can now do this whole transaction still digitally and not have to leave my house. It became this thing like, I actually can do this all online.
Yes,
that doesn't have to deal much with the kids. You could have done it 6 months ago, a year and a half ago. But the fact is now it makes it easier to be home and still have the kids in the background and be able to run the note business.
Yeah. So another cool kind of thing I've heard, it's stuff that I'm starting to do at the house is,
are you new to the mortgage note industry? Have you been wanting to learn the step-by-step process to purchase your first mortgage note? Well, you're in luck. We've convinced our CEO, Rick Allen, to break down everything he knows about mortgage note investing. Through a series of 50 videos, you'll get everything from start to finish of where to purchase notes, how to purchase notes, and all of Rick's investing techniques he has developed over the many years. From performing note tactics to non-performing notes, Rick gives you everything he knows about investing. Bonuses include our glossary of industry terms, Rick's own proprietary calculators he created to evaluate notes, discounts from our partners, our Rolodex of vendors, a private Facebook group, along with a lot more. We've packed so much content into the Academy to take you from beginner to expert in no time. To learn more about the Academy, go to academy.paperstac.com/welcome. Again, that is academy.paperstac.com/welcome.
It's an age-dependent thing, but start talking to your kids about what you do in the note industry. This is a huge opportunity, having your kids at the house while you're on a call. And like, I hear my kids, they'll come out and they'll sit at the table and they'll listen to me work the note business, and then they'll ask questions afterwards. So I think if it's such a great investment that if you have that opportunity, it's take your kid to work day every day.
Yeah.
With the ability to let them like go outside and play and go to their room, or let them play on whatever device of choice they have. But it's also a great opportunity to sit there and educate them a little bit. Take advantage of it. Don't look at it as such a downside, because it's not. For me, my kids are 11, almost 6, and 7. So they're the 7 and the 6-year-old are a little bit young, but definitely the 11-year-old he's understanding and he's starting to get it. He's starting to be curious and ask questions. And I've said, here, come take a look at what I'm doing.
That's definitely right. I see my oldest, Jessica, she'll stand behind me, especially when I have the video stuff up and like different things like that. And she's like, what is that? And so she thinks it's cool because that's how videos are made and things like that. So she'll watch. I haven't let her mess with much. But also, too, my wife had no idea what I did. She just thought I jumped on the internet somehow. He works on the internet. So I'm like, what is there, like a portal? And I just go jump into the internet. And,
yeah.
But now she understands. But another thing that I've seen that I tend to have a habit of sweeping the house when I'm on the phone. I like the fact of now I'm working from home. I can multitask in a sense where I'll time block things, work on something for 30 minutes, unless it's customer support, which is basically just anytime.
That's nonstop.
That's nonstop. But if it's something that, okay, I'm going to do this for 30 minutes, I'm going to take a 10-minute break. And then I'll go tinker around the house, do something, come back, tinker around the house. But I get a lot of stuff done. But sweeping, our house is completely tile and white tile. And so I'm on the phone. I have the headphones on. I'm just sweep. I like when you make phone calls. That's all I do is just sweep the house. And it's always clean. That's one advantage.
Yeah. So what are some other things? What are some secrets for you
that I do.
Yeah. Or some of the, you know what? It doesn't always have to be some of the secrets. What are for the benefits of having working from the house? We'll just talk about that.
For me, I like to see what my kids are doing day to day. We have this office here, and it's nice. But me and Rick both live 30 minutes away from this, but I like to come in and hang out and get out of the house. But I also like to just little stuff. Like I tell my oldest daughter and my youngest daughter, you do some of the homework, and we'll go for ice cream later. And then it's just like a little date. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I'll take them, and I eat a lot of ice cream now too, which is not good, but it's really good ice cream. So we'll go and eat ice cream every so often. We should do this every day. I'm like, no, we're not doing this every day. This is like a once a week, or
Right.
Daddy's gonna get. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. But I was like, but it's also we have the advantage of having a nice pool, so I can go and work from the pool, and just basically work on stuff that we're maybe writing something or just working on something, maybe customer support or something in AdWords. But that benefit of having them not just be sitting home and just on their butt, because one thing in Florida is it gets it's a double-edged sword. You don't want your kid inside, but you don't want them to have a heat stroke either. You know,
No,
they go
it's
outside
tough.
and they come in all beet red and stuff like it's
100 degrees outside. Yeah. I think one of the things that I've been benefiting from is not having a drive at
Oh, yeah.
all. Just I'm getting more done at the house because I can start working. I can take those discussed breaks you talked about in the middle of the day, spend a little time with the kids, because I know when they go to bed, or especially if my wife works in the emergency room, sometimes she has to work a late shift. And so for me, it's great because if I take some time off during the day, I can put down another couple hours, 3 hours at night.
No, that's very true.
And so I think that's one of the things. And it was very apparent in the people that were working remotely now. There's companies, Upwork or Pangean or any number of ones out there where you can go get work remotely. It's not necessarily working the 9 to 5. You want to be
it's all over the
available.
place.
Yeah, it is all over the place because we're talking with people who maybe are going to work in Vietnam for a year or something like that. And it's just one of those things where it's like, that's great because you know what? If we had development going on in Vietnam right now and development going on in the United States, that means development's rolling pretty much 24 hours a day. And that's not a bad thing. And it's really just about, look, can you be where you need to be when you need to be there? If you have a meeting, can you get there? Yeah. Does that mean that the minutia, the day-to-day, needs to be done between 9 and 5?
No.
Find out what works for you.
No, I've been doing a lot of that. So I will wake up earlier in the morning, not earlier, same time, but wake up, go straight to work because I'm not awake yet, but I can still do like simple stuff, check the email, do this, check the customer support, look at AdWords, go do that. And then when I'm up and I can find that the gym's not crowded at 10 o'clock because everyone wants to get in and get out, I can go there and it's like, oh, superset the whole thing. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to work on that.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, because no one's there. Everyone's still stuck on that routine where they have to do that. And maybe that's just the way they have to function. But for me, it's flexible. But again, I can also see at night. Last night, I was rendering videos till 10 o'clock. I wasn't staying there the whole time. I would go render one and then walk away with Media Encoder and then go back and do it again. But it's the beauty of being able to be at home. And now that it's not so, I always felt guilty before. That kind of felt like we needed to be at the office. We needed to be at the office. Yeah. Now, so, we're saving money and we're able to give more back, and Paperstac's actually still growing even more now. So why not?
Yeah, we're really set.
No, you can work right up to 5 or 5:30. So for me, that's another thing is it's 5:30, 6 o'clock. And it's like, all right, I'm done now. And then I walk out the front door and I'm like, all right.
And I think it's important to say as much as you have that ability to say, I can now go and I can work an extra 2-3 hours. And that shouldn't be an everyday thing. I think what's important is, look, have your flexibility, but make sure you have that time when you can shut it off, because you have to shut it off at some point. You have to be able to turn it off and say, look, I need to, especially have family, kids, which is what we started. This is about the kids, right? Got to be sure to shut it off, because if not, dad's always home, but he's not really home. Dad's at work. He's just at home.
Yeah, no, I usually go out in the yard. It's nice in Florida in the afternoon, so I go out in the yard, work on something.
What part of the afternoon are you talking right now?
I'm like 6:37.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Getting
nice.
there.
Yeah, I got 2 hours and I'm standing at a table.
Yeah.
I'll go out there and do some with flowers. But I don't have headphones on. I don't have anybody talking to me. I'm just kind of like in my own little zone. Then I'll go in and take a shower and go hang out.
Yep. So I think that's it. I think we it's a shorter one, but you can't really beat a dead horse to death. It's already dead. So I think we talked about it.
We're not the experts on working from home either, but there's probably some experts
No,
on
just a little, our thoughts from the studio here on working from home and with kids and what do you do and how do you do it, and
Although the studio is not at either one of our houses, so
We are away from the house.
we are not working from home right now. So we don't know what the kids are doing. We left them both of them there, and they're running around the streets.
Moms and wives are taking care of that. So, anyways, appreciate it. We'll look forward to hearing from you or seeing you again on our next episode.
All right, talk to you soon.